What's up, Craig? How's it going? What? Excellent. Yeah, so I have my slide deck, but I don't have a script or anything, so I'm probably just gonna ramble a lot. It'll be
Hey,
good.
slide decks worked as a script, I think.
It's basically that's probably why I have too many freaking slides on it, but
Oh, helps you keep track.
exactly. So yeah, I guess let me know when you got your OBS up, and I will start actually doing stuff.
I
We'll
think
see.
I am good. I'm just double
You
checking
good?
some stuff, but I am recording just in case too. Got you, I
Okay.
got you.
You good?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Hello. I am Yikes. This
Hello,
is the
Yikes.
this is the hackathon presentation. What am I gonna say on the title card? I'm gonna say those are the two oh, Ethereum is misspelled. Rip. I had my friend help me with this. It's their fault. Um.
This is what happens when you do it like last night, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I did it like an hour ago.
Okay, well, you
I
are
fi- I
forgiven,
finished.
sir.
Yeah, I finished it like at 11:27, I think, my
Oh
time.
my gosh, I'm
So.
sorry.
So, well, that's how we do. I tried to get my chat GPT to do it all for me, but he wouldn't. So,
Oh.
um, okay. So I've done two hackathons so far. I only got to about, I did the three, so like, about me. I did like the 3 weeks of the JavaScript fundamentals, and then I did 6 weeks of Alchemy. And it took me longer than 6 weeks, of course. But prior to that, I had like no coding experience at all, so I still have
Ooh.
no idea what I'm doing. But then I got to week 6, and I got tired of the frickin' projects always telling me to do React, and I know nothing about React. So I
Oh.
was like, let me procrastinate by joining a hackathon. And they've been really fun. So I did one from Hack the Box, which is not really a blockchain thing, but they had a couple of blockchain projects. That was like a CTF. Hackbox is like a penetration testing company. And then after that, I did Scaling Ethereum 2023, which is like an actual real hackathon. So now we will go to the next slide. Do I click it? Okay. There we go. Okay, yeah. What is a hackathon? Who can join them? They're the TLDR of hackathon is like you have certain amount of time, and then in that certain amount of time, you usually have to start and finish a project. Some of them you can come in with a started project. Very rarely though. Um, and usually, yeah, there might be ones in real life or they might be online. I've done online ones. I haven't done the real life ones. I think Space has done real life ones at least. Um, but oftentimes the IRL ones are only a couple days because you don't have everybody in the same spot for a couple days. Online ones can be longer. Um, but basically, in that period of time, you have to make a team, you have to find an idea, you have to prototype the idea, you have to build like an MVP, you have to make a like a slide deck or video or something to present it to the judges, and you have to get all that done before the time limit runs out. Um, So, yeah, I know. I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, if I'm not good at the programmings, then a hackathon not for me." No, you're wrong. Just do hackathons. Do them all the time. The worst thing that happens is that you don't win, and like all of the other people, except like not very many of them, are also not going to win. So it's not a big deal. Um, and it's actually, I found that it was really valuable to have people that weren't primarily devs. It's best if you have some technical knowledge, but a lot of the places that the hackathons are at, like the conferences and stuff, will have the super baby beginner classes. So if you go to a conference and you are hanging out there and you want to do a hackathon, you want a little bit of technical knowledge, you can just show up at the classes, figure out like a few different things, and then be able to contribute. And you might know something that the other people on your team don't know because they were super confident gigabrain hackers, and they didn't go to the beginner stuff like you did. So yeah, just join them. It's fun. I will demonstrate that it is fun by clicking this link. And then I have to switch my sources. Okay, hold on. So, no, I don't want that. I want this, and I want to change windows. I'm going to do this. Okay. I'm going to do that. And then, okay, this is the Scaling Ethereum Hack 2023 Hackathon experience. Enjoy. I'm very proud of my meme video, and I'm mad I didn't get to submit it.
Oh. See a lot of errors there, sir.
Yes, you do.
It's very intimidating.
Yes, it is very intimidating. My understanding is it's not always like this, but it was this time because the protocol we were using is very new.
I see a lot of people are asking each other what's happening.
Yes, a lot of people are asking about the same thing too, and we are pinging each other. And there's
no one in the team knows how to answer it.
Yep. There's okay.
Oh.
We have more, and then we have more, and then half of those are my team.
Oh dear.
And then we
now you're in the support channel.
Let's see.
Yeah, support channel.
Do we have the docs? Do we have the docs for this? I don't know if it's in the docs. It's basically this.
Oh dear.
Not automatically. Oh no. You are getting V1 of the instructions.
V1 is actually like V3.
If that's the case, it's not clear from the docs. Install says we need to use Docker. Yes, you're right. You're missing this field.
Oh dear. Is it you or is it us? I can feel the intensity. Deadline!
Why is it not on the docs?
Why is it not there? Sorry, Ubuntu.
Can I just rerun it? In theory, I need to rerun and use all new contracts.
Oh no.
Redo everything.
Oh no. No.
Yeah, you will.
No, don't. No. Don't update everything. Wait. Hold up. Never mind. It should be easy.
Deploy would be easiest.
I think. There you go. Here, do this thing. What?
Okay, well, you could be a lot more successful. We had 30 points less IQ.
Doctors, lawyers, and elite financiers also need to be very smart. Dumb people make more money than smart people.
And I'm addicted!
Oh dear.
So I can't quit!
Oh dear.
I'm done streaming! I cannot stream this game anymore! It is garbage! They're hot fixing it? Nice! How live? Fix the game! Guys, they're hot fixing it! Cool! How did it even make it to live server? How did they think that was okay to even put it in the game? I'm so sick of this company.
I hope that's not your real friends going off.
No. That was just that was the experience. That was the high quality.
Wait, I didn't get it. So did you actually deploy?
We did actually. Well, we deployed. Almost none of it worked.
Yay, you deployed!
Eventually, we got one or two things figured out, but it was very frustrating, but also very fun because we were hanging out, all trying to figure out all this stuff together.
Right.
That was the draw.
Misery loves company.
Indeed. I really, yeah, okay. That's the stuff I already talked about. Strategize differently. Yeah. So if you have 6 weeks, you have to do stuff differently than if you have like 6 hours. Then you don't need to know a whole bunch to do it. Like being ready to learn and like being willing to like try hard, and then like, you know, people being like, hey, we don't know how to do this. This is broken, as you have seen. More people going through the docs or available to ask questions or see when the developers reply to you is good. So the more the merrier. Teams are sometimes kind of limited, so it will depend kind of what team you want to get on. But oftentimes there's like teams full of new people, and those are fun too. That was what I did for my Hack the Box challenge. We had a team of 20, and most of us
Oh.
were very new with everything. And then we ended up, but our team, we had a couple people that were like carrying us, and we ended up number 90 out of 6,000, I think.
Ooh.
So it was pretty sick. And I need to go back and check in on those guys 'cause I haven't been working with them, but they're all hacker people and not blockchain people necessarily. Okay. So based on my experience, there are probably some things that you should do in advance, or I guess this is going to be my opinion on things that one should probably do. And then after that, I'll go over like things that I actually did or our teams actually did. I mostly remembered the Scaling Ethereum hackathon. I didn't talk about the HTB one too much, but yeah. So things like forming your team, what kind of recon should you do? How should you prepare? What kind of roles should you have on your team, etc. Okay. Good things that make you actually probably win. So this is sort of the like prep part. Have a Discord or a place to chat or something. Also have music bots and play good coding music. That was very helpful for me. It was a high quality part of my experience. Ideally, before you start, make the accounts, like make a Notion, make a Trello, invite everybody to it, make the GitHub repo, make the Google Docs, like build out everything that you're going to need in order to finish a project, it's kind of hard to know that if you're not like team leading. I guess this is more of a team lead thing. But ideally, next time I start a hackathon, I'm gonna try and set up as many tools as possible, and then just shoot links to people as soon as the clock starts. Make sure you have everything installed. I had to install and figure out how to use video editing software because the last 4 hours of the hackathon, after I had stayed up all night trying to get things to work, we were like, oh crap, we need to make a video too. So I didn't get to submit that one, but I would have liked to. Scope the sponsors and the bounties. Yeah, so usually before the hackathon starts, they won't have, or like they'll have a certain time when they'll release the bounties and the challenges and what kind of stuff you have that's available to build. And then prior to but before they release that, if you're trying to if you want to do some groundwork, you can go on a site called DevPost. And DevPost lists all of the, or lists a good amount of the hackathons, and usually you can search your sponsor on DevPost and see what other hackathons they've been sponsoring. And most of them will just sponsor the same kind of thing or have the same challenges all, until they get it all built out. So you can kind of do recon that way and kind of prep yourself to start hitting the gas as soon as the clock starts. Yep, that's the thing. Is be ready to start. In terms of once the clock has started, this is just a few random things. One of the things that I've been saying is like if you're in a hackathon and you have 5 developers, and everybody's just a developer, you're probably not going to get anything built because all of you are going to be really good at building stuff, and nobody is going to be good at the logistics of actually going from start to finish to fix everything in a team space with like 5 different people. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. So it's good to have somebody with project management experience, or just pick somebody who's like worked at an actual job and had to do like syncs and stand-ups and deal with Jira tickets and all that, and be like, hey, can you just PM for us real quick? Because it's best to know what you're, in terms of like productive stuff, what you should be doing at the moment, and then like and not finish a thing and then be like floating around like, okay, where's everybody at, kind of thing. We did I think our hackathon, the amount of work time that we had, I think ended up being like a little less than a week. And we did like syncs every morning to kind of check in and see what our goals for the day was, and it was helpful. So yeah, if you aren't a technical person, if you're a designer, if you do biz dev, if you just know about the topic of the hackathon, if you're good at Googling stuff, there's a lot of ways to contribute to a team. So yeah, I'm sure you can figure it out. But yeah, in my opinion, a couple of devs, a designer, and a PM, and then the biz dev and SME are optional. And then people can fill multiple roles too. A lot of times you'll get resources from the organization itself. There is a hackathon starter kit for the one that I did that I didn't look into, and that was a mistake. And yeah, you also have to manage like your meat machine of especially if it's like the IRL ones, where like your instinct is to like just grind and build the thing, but you need to kind of manage your performance so that you can be like conscious and not dead by the end of it, because dead people can't code. So and yeah, at least in my experience, we didn't win any hackathons, but the real win has been networking. The sponsor that I was working with, I have continued to kind of work with their dev team. I'm updating some of their docs for them and testing out some of their stuff. And then some of the guys that I met for my team, we are still, we're hopping from hackathon to hackathon. And kind of it's nice to have that because it's good to find somebody that you can work with kind of on other stuff. It's always good to have that. Oh yeah, this is like a random thing of just like if you don't know how to prototype, but probably somebody on your team will. None of us did because we were just fresh out of Alchemy. So somebody hit me up and was like, okay, this is what you do. You have your idea. You kind of sketch of set a persona up of somebody who's using your idea. Kind of get a sketch of what all the things that they're gonna do. Build like a real quick mock-up of that in Figma, and then go through the Figma for each different like screen that they're going to see, like an unfilled text box, a clicked button, where the next place they're going to be, and just kind of like snapshot it out like that, and then plug all that into the GitHub, and then on each of those Figmas, write like the feature list that's going to be included, then you can assign the feature list that way. And then yeah, it's also good to make sure you are actually solving a problem. Because a lot of times it is you're just like building a random cool thing if this isn't really your area of expertise, or if none of the people that you've worked with or spoken to actually are your target audience or are your target solve. One thing I don't have on my slides on is, at least for Scaling Ethereum, they had like a mentors channel and a sponsors channel, so you can usually talk to more experienced people to help you through stuff to get your stuff built, which is kind of nice. Yeah, so this is kind of an outline. I've sort of gone over it. Yeah, read the docs. Or even though like the tool or the protocol we were building on was not like, it broke all the time and there were errors all the time, and the dev team there were a couple of times where the dev team was like, oh, actually that's broken. I have to push a commit real quick and then just re-download it and try it again. But they were responsive, and that was the good thing. And trying to stay in scope. Like having more ideas is good, but making sure you get the baseline built is important. Yeah, having fun was good, and it was, fun is good, and it's good to like, I don't know, just not take it overly seriously, unless you are like specifically making like the sweatiest hackathon team imaginable and want to win really, really bad, which is also fine, but I like the fun version better. Big stuff. Hydrate, drink smoothies, read the docs. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is the stuff that I wish I would have liked to done differently. I didn't use the stuff S Global gave me. I took like several days because I had 2 weeks. I was like, oh, I can find a team whenever. It took me a lot longer than it should have. And then once we had the team, we were like, oh, is this the good idea? But what about this other thing? Because I'm kind of trying to figure out, well, what about this cool novel idea where we make a deploy a DAO or whatever? In reality, what we should have done, and what we eventually did do, was like, okay, there's a sponsor challenge, and their sponsor challenge is just deploy our protocol onto a chain. Let's just start there. Let's just do that. Um, but yeah, we burned like 3 days for no reason. And then yeah, I mentioned rushing through the video. Clear coding is I don't know if I explained that, but it's sort of a system for people, I guess, for people who don't know what it is. I know if you've worked in actual development environments, you probably are familiar with it, but I think it's great for, especially if you are newer and you have somebody on your team that's more experienced, or like somebody or somebody that's needs help, that is sort of experienced, that wants extra help. But pair coding is basically like one person streams their code, the other person has like all the docs and like ChatGPT and whatever else you're going to use up, and then the person coding codes along, codes, and then asks questions and bounces ideas off the other person, and then the other person like runs through docs when we run into questions, and like helps try to puzzle through the bug and stuff like that. So it's basically like two heads, one code. And we didn't do that enough, also because I only figured out what that was after the event. Yeah, I feel like that would probably be helpful. I didn't remember any other stuff. That's that. There's a thread in Dev Guild. Two websites that are good are Hacker Earth and Dev Posts. I hang out on Twitter, and my algo just like recommends me hackathons all the time. What's going on right now is, I'm in Scaffold ETH that's ending in a couple days. It's super casual. I'm pretty sure you can just jump in whenever. If you can build something in 2 days, then, why not? Just Google Scaffold ETH 2 hackathon, and you'll find it. Build space starts on the 8th. I think registrations are closed for that now. I'm not entirely sure. But if you jump in the Build Space Discord and you feel like joining, or if you just kind of talking like, hey, does anybody need a team member? I can do this. That one's pretty small team wise, and the prizes are pretty high, so it might be a little more competitive, but you might be able to find teams that are looking for someone of your experience level if you hang out in there. Chainlink Spring is a big one. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to implement all of this for Chainlink Spring, and hopefully like actually try and place. And then there's probably Discords and stuff for hackathons. I don't know. Okay. I guess I didn't finish it. Closing reflections. Yeah, I don't really have any. Any questions? Hackathons are cool. Do them.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Hey, well, I do have questions for you. So
You have questions? Okay.
I
TV, what are your
do.
questions? Well,
My questions. All right, cool. So like you said, you mentioned you went through 2 hackathons so far. How ready are people to step into that leadership part of the team? Like, is it pulling teeth, or is there always at least one person gung ho? Or
Well, yeah, usually what'll happen in team formation is some people won't have an idea and they'll just want to be jumping on a team and they'll want to work. But most of the time, if a person has an idea, then they're sort of implicitly taking on the role of team lead. And there are usually a lot of people with a lot of ideas. And usually if you have an idea and you don't want to be team lead, you'll say like, hey, I kind of need, somebody to team lead. Originally, team lead for our project was me, but then we got somebody who wanted to take over the PM responsibility. And I wasn't married to the idea of being team lead. I just wanted to coach it and break shit, and I'm all over the place all the time anyway. So he was like, yeah, dude, I'll make a Trello. I'll start assigning tasks. You guys join this. I'll make a Notion. Yeah, so usually the thing that you don't want to do is not have any leadership. So like find somebody who kind of spell out like, hey, can we have somebody that's coordinating everything from the start? But yeah.
Rainbow Prickle, did you have a question? No?
Or did you? Yeah, yeah, go for it. Okay,
Okay, cool.
for sure. I saw your mic on, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, does anybody else have any questions? I don't know. Or any other questions, TD, I guess.
I have lots, but
You
I'll
have
let
lots?
others jump in. I mean, I know some of the answers. I'm just doing this for you. No, I'm
Oh
just joking.
yeah, for educational purposes, I get it.
Educational purposes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Feel free to turn your mics on, or type them in chat, or whatever you got, or I don't know. Use Jiffy to do an interpretive dance about it and see if I can figure it out. Something like that.
In the meantime, let's see what other questions I have here. So I've been so there's a lot of devs usually that's doing these hackathons. You mentioned how difficult is it to find someone who's more on the creative side or UX UI side or non-dev side in your work?
I would say it's not super difficult, but like you probably should know that that you have to look for it. That's the one challenge. But at least with I think it depends on the size of the hackathon. I know with scaling Ethereum, there was often people uh, like there was a pretty blanket need. There were people like asking like, "Hey, is there a designer? Hey, is there a blockchain guy? We have full stack. Hey, is there is there like a front end primarily design UI person?" Uh, so yeah, I would say like UX UI is definitely something that should be on every team. So I imagine one will not have much trouble um, finding a spot to be UX UI on a team. That
Did
said, it
you
depends
go
on the size
through?
too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, did you go through a hackathon like without somebody doing like that whole flow chart thing that you mentioned?
Yes, yeah, I in the middle of the hackathon, we were kind of floating around, so I just posted in the Discord. I was like, guys, how do I like build a project? Like, how do I do the thing from start to finish? Because I just know how to like build I know how to do smart contract exercises, and that's it. And some dude was like, hey, yeah, I kind of have a system of how I go about that. Let me hit you up, and I'll talk you through it. And then he kind of outlined that prototyping wireframing kind of process to me. We didn't end up using it too much because the protocol that we used it kind of like it gave us a front end UI by default, and then um, our dude who was on front end was just like, yeah, I'll do front end, and then he was like silent the whole time, and then would just like pop up and be like, hey, it's done. So
That's always nice, I
yeah,
guess.
I mean, like he was
Unless you
productive.
wanted to learn it, then it's like okay.
Well, yeah, it was kind of hard to figure out. He's productive. I went into the hackathon kind of knowing his shtick, but he was clutch at the end because he was the one who actually ended up rigging up something that actually worked, like the one of the few things that actually did work on our little demonstration. we
Ooh.
those transactions that we ran through at the end, half of them would fail. So we just sort of skipped over that part.
Oh.
But one, I think,
Skip it instead
yeah,
of fix it.
yeah, I think two of them, I think two of them worked or they would succeed. So, um, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But we didn't go in knowing how to do that. So yeah, if you're a UX wireframer, like, hey, I know how to structure a project from start to finish, and then like I think I think like UX, wireframe, and PM team like jumping onto like as a pair going into a hackathon. Depending on team size, of course, and especially if they have like a little bit of technical knowledge, I think that's like pretty valuable. Like I'd snap that pair up for a given team if I was pretty confident about my devs.
Cool. Awesome. That's good to know what your minimums are,
Yeah, I had no idea about my minimums, and this is all theoretical at this point. But I'm gonna test it out. Probably be testing it out pretty shortly here, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so for your sponsor, walk me through that because I joined one hackathon. They mentioned something about, oh, let us know anytime, but they were like never available. So
Yes,
what is
that
your
was
experience with sponsors?
I think that's part of deciding because I I went and checked out a couple of the sponsors' discords. Like we basically we went through the sponsor list, kind of, and saw ones that looked cool, and then kind of jumped into them to check them out. And the ones that we jumped in and like we typed a bunch of messages, and then 12 hours later nobody replied to us. We just didn't do that sponsor. But uh, yeah, Hyperlane. Uh, one of the good thing, or my experience was like they were a lot more responsive inside their Discord rather than the event Discord.
Mm,
So that's a good thing to check. But yeah, mostly that's trial and error, and like you kind of have to modify your scope a little bit if you're scrolling through the Discord and you see that like the devs like almost never reply to anyone. Like I honestly, to me, like I dump that just because because there's the off chance that the protocol works and everything is fine and the docs are very clear and you know how it all works. But I would much rather have a dev team that's like, oh yeah, this is actually what that means, or like, oh yeah, that's broken, because especially in Web3, that's really, really often the case. So I would rather have somebody talking to me rather than you know, hoping that everything is fine.
yeah, how true is that statement where they're basically using hackathons as guinea pig transactions?
Um, I would say to some degree, like if I'm a protocol, I would, I want to, that's how I want to do it. Like I want to say, like, here's $5,000, you 200 people, go test it and see what you can do. And then I only have to pay $5,000, which is cool. It's good for the protocol, and then like as a person who's doing a hackathon, it's also good for you because then it's easy to kind of like stand out and get involved, um, even if you don't win. And yeah, and a lot of it is guinea pigging, especially in Web3. Is a lot of it like I know for scaling Ethereum, like a lot of these protocols. Some of them were well established, but almost all of them were like, "Hey, we just released this new product. Can you go deploy it? Can you go use it?" And it's fun to kind of like figure stuff out and break it and kind of get that hands on with it. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about the scaling Ethereum hackathon you did?
Yeah. I mean, that's the one. Let me see if I can find scaling Ethereum 2023. Yeah, so it was primarily about multi-chain and basically how to scale Ethereum. And I ended up getting really interested in interoperability because of it, and because of working with Hyperlane. So I started there was a lot I didn't understand about how a blockchain works and how blockchains talk to each other, and how bridges work, and whether bridges exist or not. I have a good meme video for that.
Ooh.
But the uh, Yeah, so there's I think let me go check the prizes here. I think the prizes were okay, so let's share this tab instead.
Are you telling me that bridges are a lie too?
Yes, bridges don't exist.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Keep getting lied to. First it's royalties, now it's bridges.
Yes, I will I'll post it in Design Guild or Dev Guild or something. It's very interesting.
Oh man.
So yeah, this is all of the sponsors. There was a this prize pool was there was a good chunk like Optimism and Gnosis. So like
Wow.
Optimism was just like, hey, deploy a rollup, which is because we now allow you to deploy your own rollup. Hey, you know, here's the smaller prize pool. Just make a tool that's on Optimism mainnet. Here we have this new feature. Use that. Um, Scroll was like, hey, deploy your smart contract on Scroll. That's it. Like that's easy peasy.
Alrighty then.
We tried to do that too, but well, like yeah, we deployed the contracts and technically submitted to Scroll, but the actual protocol didn't work on Scroll. But there were contracts
Oh
on it,
no.
so we just submitted it anyway.
I mean, hey, that was like the minimum,
That was
right?
what they
Just
said, yeah. And then here's like, okay, this is their whole thing is new, so they just want people to use it.
did you find out if it was a their issue or a your issue?
Um, let's see. For Scroll, I think
Yeah.
it was. I think it was us because I think another team ended up getting that working, or it could have been either because I think the other team um went from Scroll to Optimism Gorley, and we were trying to do normal Gorley, and normal Gorley sucks. So it could
Oh.
have been the
Mm-hmm.
congestions, like making some stuff drop out of the mempool, and you know making things not work.
Some sort of workaround that's not necessarily documented.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or just you know like network traffic
Big
being the
brain
problem.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so like Gnosis, Scroll, Polygon, you know, some names you heard of, some names you haven't. Filecoin, maybe. Apecoin was sponsoring, and it was really weird. I don't. What
Interesting.
does Apecoin
What are
even
they
do?
doing?
Theirs was like, hey, make a NFT or something. Push the entire NFT and metaverse ecosystems forward in an innovative new way. What does that even mean? Most innovative use of Apecoin in a DApp. Apecoin doesn't have. Apecoin is just like a random token. Like it doesn't. There's how do you know there's nothing.
Stick it in a game and be like, here,
Yeah,
you get an
sure.
eight coin. I
The
guess. Here,
currency,
click this button.
right?
Yay.
The currency we arbitrarily chose for this game is to pay you an ape coin. Now we win the prize. Yay!
I guess.
But yeah, there was some really cool tech here. Fuel is really awesome. I'm gonna see if I can find the global. Yes. Yeah, they did.
Fuel. I'm not familiar with fuel, actually.
Yeah, Fuel is it's their own chain, and it's not in Solidity. It's you don't program in Solidity. You program in Rust, but they have a
Oh.
Rust based uh, language. Basically, kind of the concept for them is yeah, Sway. So they structured their blockchain and their language in such a way where it's supposed to be like Solidity was just the thing that everybody learned because it was the first thing. And so
Mm-hmm.
their kind of push is like, hey, we structured this very similarly to Solidity. We wrote it in Rust, and then all of the like weird little idiosyncrasies that Solidity like whines at you about constantly, we just took those out. And we made it really, really easy to try and write in it. Unfortunately, you do have to know Rust a little bit, but I definitely want to try it sometime because it's very cool. Ethereum,
Oh. So Sway is making its way
indeed, indeed,
into this into our code smart contract coding lives.
indeed. Let's see.
Oh.
Swap over here. The so yeah, they have like during the conference. all of the sponsors were like, "Hey, here's our thing. Here's how to use it. YouTube ads are amazing. Thank you guys. This like here's how a roll up works. How roll ups. Here's how roll ups actually work. Which is the bridges don't exist video. And permit, yeah, you got Hyperlane, Learn Web 3 DAO, Filecoin, Polygon, all that stuff. So they got a whole big playlist of cool stuff. But yeah, is that anybody else have any final questions? I should probably get going and start working on my thing that I have to submit in 2 days.
Have any questions? I don't want to hog the mic if there's anybody out there that have any questions.
Sounds like a no to me.
Yay. Well, very cool. I am so glad that you were able to showcase for us today, even though I was telling you to do it in like 2 days, I guess.
Apparently, that's how I work best, so it's all good.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, you got all of the meat potatoes in there and you've dished out an awesome slide deck and everything. Wow.
Absolutely. Crunch time is.
It's very
I'll
impressive.
just procrastinate until there's like 4 hours left, and then I'll do the whole thing. That's how I work.
Gosh, you sound like a hackathon master.
I'm trying to get away from doing that, but it's still what I do. All right. Well,
oh no.
Well, cool guys.
Okay, so the
the
way to win a hackathon is to procrastinate. Got it.
Hey, if you got pretty bad ADD and you don't have it well managed, absolutely. Just maximize the pressure on you, and you'll be good to go.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much, Yikes, for presenting. I hope that we can learn more about your other hackathons when you finish those up. So
Cheers.
and I hope everybody enjoyed themselves today. We'll see you guys at the next event.
Awesome. Catch you around.
Thank you. Bye, guys.